Hello, everybody. Welcome again to our Interesting People, Interesting Stories podcast. We're glad you joined us today. And keep coming with your suggestions and your comments. And we always like to hear from you because that means that we are connecting. That means that we are engaging with all of you as well. So I have somebody special. Everybody's special, right? Because everybody brings something to the table. And today we have Cecy Varela with us, and she is with Viva Auto Group. Cecy, you are a BDC Director. What is that?
BDC Director.
First of all, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me, Estela. I'm happy to be here. BDC Director is a Business Development Center Director. So what is business development? Well, I'm basically in charge of training our sales team how to provide an excellent customer service to our customers. That's the main key.
So what are some of the key elements of doing a good job of doing that?
Well, managing our database, we have a system that lets us know when a customer is due for an oil change, when a customer is in a good position to trading the vehicle. So we make sure to communicate with our customers because it's not only about purchasing the vehicle and that's it. We have that relationship with our customers. We communicate with them what's going on with their vehicles, any information. We want to have a relationship with them so they can call us if they have any questions, have that personal experience.
And that connection. So,
Yes.
So when you know a lot about us then, if we purchase a vehicle with Viva Auto Group, you know a lot about us and you want to know more about us?
Yes.
Like what?
Like, for example, how many kids do you have? Do you have anybody in your family that is interested in purchasing a vehicle? We want to know those kind of things.
But it's not just about purchasing a vehicle. It's about making a connection and really having an authentic relationship with your customers.
That's right.
Because every single customer is special.
Yes, of course, there's customers that can afford to buy, a $100,000 truck. There's customers that really it's not a luxury. They need a vehicle, to get to their work, to get to school. So we help them find that vehicle that fits their needs.
So that's her job, but she does a lot of other things as well. Cecy, I know that you were here when I first started, and then you left for a little bit. Tell me what came before you started here at Viva, and during the time that you were gone, and then we'll talk more about what you do here.
Okay. Yes, so I started in the media, just like you, in media sales and promotions, and I was in the radio and TV for like 8 years. So that's where I started. And that's how I met, general managers from the auto industry because we would go do radio remotes at every dealership. And one thing that I really liked working at the dealerships is being able to connect with the salespeople, helping them with the customers, and giving the customers a good experience while they were there buying their vehicle.
So you did media. You worked in Spanish language station.
Yes.
Univision,
Univision,
whatever, Channel 26. What did you learn from there that translated into the automotive industry? Because a lot of us think, oh gosh, I've been in this industry and I don't know if I could learn a different one or if there are even similarities. How did that happen?
I think what really helped me in the media that's now helping me in the auto industry, how to communicate with people, looking at purchasing a vehicle, about having a relationship and not just purchasing a vehicle. So when I started at the Viva Auto Group, I remember, I'm the BDC manager, I would always say I'm the customer service manager because every time they would purchase a vehicle, I made sure to give them a call and make sure they were happy with their purchase. If there's anything else they needed, I made sure we could help them. I was always that one person that would be on the customer side and made sure they were helped in anything they
Yeah, we don't just sell vehicles.
We sell experiences. A lot happens when you get behind the wheel. It's where we have the tough conversations and make the tough decisions, because on the road we find the time and place to think. It's where we make happy announcements or just have fun. Live your best life with Viva.
Sponsored by Viva Kia.
Welcome back to our Interesting People with Interesting Stories podcast. And we have here Cecy Varela. She is a BDC Director, and she handles a lot of people who have who provide the customer service here at Viva Auto Group. Cecy, I was going to tell you that I'm really bad at writing thank you notes. But I have learned that it is so important to make sure that you acknowledge that gift in writing, and acknowledge that thank you in writing, because people will forget that you thanked them. In that, it's so much easier now to send a thank you through a text message,
or an
right?
email. Yes, we always make sure, to have our customers' contact information, just to send them a happy birthday text,
Right.
a happy birthday email.
There really is a lot of importance, and there really is a very meaningful relationship when I get a thank you note. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool that you took the extra time to write something by hand, to put a stamp, to put it in the mailbox and take that extra step, and that's very important. That's part of your job.
Yes. One of the things when I started working here, I started doing a lot of video. And that was something fairly new with the industry. So every time I would help a customer, or every time I would make an appointment for a customer, I would send them a video introducing myself. Hey, this is Cecy. This is who you're going to meet when you get here. And customers loved it.
Of course.
Customers loved it, because they could put a face to the person they would be speaking to.
And auto is if it's not the largest expense that you're going to have, because not everybody has homes, right? It is the largest expense that somebody's going to make. So it's a big commitment, and it's a big chunk of your money is going there for your monthly payments. So tell me, Cecy, what did you do when you left Viva and took a little break?
I did, yes. So I worked at Entrevision for like 8 years, came into the auto industry, loved it. I was here for like 3 years. And I'm married, have 3 kids. I got pregnant with my 3rd kid. And I decided to take a break.
Take a break.
Take a break, a 2-year break.
It's no break when you have a child. A lot
of work.
It's a lot of work, and a lot of expectations when you're a stay-at-home mom. But I think it's nice that you had the luxury, because not all of us have the luxury to be able to do something like that and stay at home in the formative years of our children. So I'm sure that you came back with a different idea and probably different maybe respect for people and for working women and stay-at-home moms.
Yes, of course. And one thing that really changed in my mind is time. Time is very important. The time you're at work, you have to make it count. And the time you're with your children, making sure it's quality time. So now I think I learned how to manage my time pretty well.
What do you like to do?
What do I like to do? Well, other than working, I'm with my kids. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have time to do.
So do you like to dance? Do you like to
I love
sing?
to dance.
Do you like to dance?
I love to dance, yes.
So,
So when
you like
I
to go to parties?
exercise, I like to go to parties, yes. I go to a lot of piñatas.
Oh, yeah, typical.
Yes, I go to a lot of piñatas because my children are so young. So yeah, I like to go to piñatas, spend time with my children. I like to dance once in a while, go out with my husband, maybe once a month to dance. What else? And work. It's all about work and my kids.
Well, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be all about work and our children. I think many times that we feel guilty of having time for ourselves.
Yes.
And that's what I've learned throughout the years. My children are grown. I sometimes feel they don't need me, but they do. But they do. But
will
they will always need you. But your kids are younger and they do need you more. But I think it's very important to take your time and you know, whatever you'd like to do. If you'd like to go get your nails done, and when you go get your nails done, really, you know, spend that time working on you.
Enjoy that time.
And on you. Or exercising or dancing or taking a class or whatever. Us as women, us as working women, working mothers, it's just really hard to make time for ourselves and to take care of ourselves, because we've all heard that saying, if mom is okay, everybody is okay. Everybody is okay.
That's right.
And where do you we're going to take a little break, because when we come back, I'm going to ask Cecy about where she plans to be in the next 5 years. So stay with us.
Aquí en Viva Kia, cada vehículo nuevo viene con Apple CarPlay.
Mira esto. Hey Siri, ¿crees que soy guapo?
No.
Sponsored by Viva Kia.
So Cecy, you know, this is a tough question sometimes when you have so many things going on in your life and with the children, with the jobs. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, oh my God. I see myself still working. I like to work. Those 2 years, I really enjoyed my son, but I like working. I see myself working. I think there's a lot of, I just came back to the Viva Auto Group. I think there's so many things. We just got a new system that helps us communicate better with our customers. That's growing. It's training our sales team to become better. We just started, so there's so much to do with that still. So I see myself here, you know, in the next 5 years. I see myself taking my kids to college, I think.
In 5 years?
Well, I have an 11-year-old.
Oh,
so
no, not yet.
Not yet, but getting close.
But
so
I hope
we need to start saving for college for sure.
I hope, you know, I think it's very important for women to have some financial savvy and some education on the finances and how you can do a 529 or a Texas Tomorrow Fund. That's what we did with our children. And so I think it's very smart to start saving that and not spending all that money on, because college is expensive. That's good that he's 11, she's 11.
He's 11, a
and so you're
7,
thinking
and a
about that.
2-year-old.
Okay. Oof.
I need to save a lot of money.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Are you going to save up for quinceañeras?
Yes, but I have one daughter, and she's already planning her quinceañera, and she's
how old is
barely
she?
7.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. So when my daughter was little, I just said, "You're not going to have a quinceañera. You're not going to have a quinceañera. You're not going to have a quinceañera." So she grew up that
She grew
way.
up knowing she
She
didn't
wasn't
want a
gonna have one.
quinceañera, and she
So
didn't.
And she didn't. And she got a car instead.
And you have 3 as well, right?
I have 3. I have 3 children. I have a daughter who's married.
the oldest?
She's the oldest, and I have a son who is. So my daughter runs 17 clinics with Epiphany Dermatology, and she is a regional director, and she gets to travel to Nevada, Las Vegas, the different cities in New Mexico and El Paso and Las Cruces area.
Is she stationed in El Paso?
She's stationed in El Paso, so she gets to travel, and so that's good. You know, it exposes her to a lot of things, and it's kind of fun because I get to enjoy some of the products that she sells.
Nice. No wonder you have that beautiful skin.
Thank you. Thank you.
Need to
It's
give
makeup.
us the secret.
It's the makeup. and then I have a middle son who's also here. He has his doctorate of physical therapy, and he does home health. So I think he has a new appreciation for older people because he sees them struggle at their homes. So what he does is he goes and evaluates people and says, okay, this is what you need, and then a physical therapist comes in and does the work with them, the exercise with them. And then I have my 21-year-old who is at the University of Houston. He wants to go also into the medical field, into administration. So my daughter has an MHA, a Master's of Healthcare Administration, and an MBA, a Master's of Business Administration. My middle son has his doctorate of physical therapy, he did his minor in exercise science. And my son is started in finance. And he moved over to, he wants to get an MHA also at Trinity. So all of them in healthcare administration, nobody in media, thank God, because this is hard.
Let me ask you this, Estela. What advice could you give me? You know, I have 3 children, 2 they're younger, so that they can be so successful as your kids.
I think, you know, that's a great question, and thank you for asking. I think it takes a lot of discipline, and it takes you being an example I think, and that's hard. That can be hard on you sometimes because, as working women, we're juggling so many things, right? And one of them is being an example to our children. And because sometimes they don't listen to you. Gosh, you just go over and say it over and over and over and over again. But unless they see it and can experience it and you inspire them to do that, I think that's what's key. And just staying on top of them. If you ask them now, I've kind of turned into a different person because I feel secure and happy that we gave our children enough knowledge and enough courage and enough faith and enough of all those things so they can be successful down the road. So now you have to trust. You have to let go and let God and let them make their decisions. But before you do that, you got to arm them and you got to equip them and you got to give them all the tools. I wish I could tell you the magic in all of this, but I can't because it's a different generation. You all are exposed to a lot of social media, and the kids are always on their phones, and it really is a different world out there. But I think at home, it's the same discipline and the same expectations and being an example. So I guess that's what's key. That's what's key, and a lot of love, a lot of love. You be firm and fair.
Be firm and fair. And one more thing, Estela, you've always been a working mama, right? Do you ever go back and say, I wish I didn't work and spend more time with my children?
Yes. I say that all the time, but I'm doing that now. I think when you're in the thick of things, you're trying to make a mark in the career that you started, and you got to nowadays, and even back when I first started, you need those two incomes. Because the kids want to be in soccer teams, they want to be on the football team, they want to be on the volleyball team, they want a nice gown. I come from humble beginnings. My parents just had a 6th grade education from in Parral, Chihuahua.
My family's from Parral too.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something? So we all have a connection somehow.
Yes.
And so my oldest brother, he went to West Point. They got degrees, and so a lot of expectations, but it's just hard, and I have no regrets because my children are probably successful because they saw us struggling and being successful as well. But yeah, I wish I would have had a little more time. When I had my daughter, my first child, I was out for 3.5 weeks maternity leave.
3.5 weeks. That's nothing. It takes us like 2 years to get back to where we were.
when my son was born 5 years later, I was gone for 4 weeks. Now, 9 years later, with my youngest, I was out for 17 weeks, and so that made a difference. But I in between newscasts, when I was doing the 5, 6, and 10 o'clock newscast at KVIA, I would go home or not even go home. I would go to the stadium to watch my daughter play soccer. I would go to the stadium to go see my son play football, then volleyball. And it's hard. I started my day at 6 to get him out, to get him breakfast, to get him into the car and into school, and then I'd make food, and then I'd make a little time for myself, and then I'd come into work, and then I'd go home in between. One thing, Cecy, is that I've had housekeepers because I needed.
I was going to ask you, I'm sure you had like a support system.
I did have a support system.
People that will
yes,
help you.
my mom with my 2 youngest and housekeepers along the way, and my ex-husband as well. And I would never let the housekeepers bathe them or read to them at night. So before I went back, always me. When I would have to go back to do the 10 o'clock newscast, I'd tuck them into bed, and now I find out that they would stay up late. But now I know, but I didn't know back then. But I would, bathe them and read to them, and then I'd go back to work. So it's hard. It's hard for working women.
It's very important to have that routine and have those things that you always do with your children. Right. Like read them every night, making sure that happens every night. I always try to do that with my daughter as well. I get home, okay, let's do homework, and always like talk to her about her day. How was her day? How was school? How her friends treated her? How did she treat her friends? You know, have that conversation every day.
When we come back, one of the last questions, I might have some more, but one of the last questions I'd like to ask Cecy is how she makes room for all of that in this world filled with social media and all the responsibilities that she has. So we'll be right back.
Here at Viva Kia, every new vehicle comes with Apple CarPlay.
Hey, check this out. Hey Siri, do you think I'm handsome?
No.
Hey Siri, are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Sponsored by Viva Kia.
So Cecy, like we've talked about, it's a new world. The kids have a lot of challenges. It's I heard this saying that says, "Sad life, like happy pictures," or something like that. All you see on social media right now is everybody with a perfect life. Everybody has a perfect life, and this is what kids see. And this is what adults see too. And sometimes we're competing with all that stuff, and it's just not. It's
Or we
not
get
real.
depressed
Or
because we don't have that
depressed.
perfect life.
Right. Which we do. We are super blessed, right?
Yes.
First of all, to have a job and to have the ability to do the things that we enjoy. How do you deal with that as a mother of 3 young children, as a working wife and a mother of 3 young children? How do you deal with that?
It is hard. It is hard, because social media is everywhere. And I mean, everywhere. TVs are everywhere. Cell phones. Everybody has a cell phone. It's hard to know what your kids are doing every day, every hour, especially when they go to school. I mean, you just pray to God that they're doing the right thing. Like you said, you give them a good example. You teach them what's good, what's bad. And we pray that God takes care of them. It is hard, but I always try. The only one that has a cell phone is my 11-year-old, and that's because he's already in middle school. I want to make sure he gets picked up on time. But always making sure, that they turn off the TVs at a specific time, that routine. I always check on my son's phone. I have an app that tells me how long he's in his phone, what he's looking at.
Oh, where do I find that app? No.
Oh gosh, I know. I don't even know the name. I'll have to search for it, but there is an app we share, and I can see all that information. So, just like technology, it's bad. There's some really good things. It helps me track down where my kid is at the moment.
Right.
So that's how we do it. And I have a really good support system. I have my mother that helps me. Yes. I have my grandmother too.
Oh, how fun.
Yes.
You're fortunate to have a grandmother
Yes.
as well.
So right now it's 4 generations. My grandmother, my mom, me, and my daughter. Wow. I have the blessing of having them. So my mother's been a great support for me now that I'm working. I'm pretty sure if I didn't have her, I wouldn't be able to do it. So she helps me a lot with my kids too.
What challenges do you see at work?
At work? Well, in the auto industry, being a woman in leadership is a challenge. I mean, we have... It's a men's world, really. It's a men's world. And you know what? Men have... I feel that for them, it's all about work, Yeah. It's not us. We have our children. It's like we feel like it's more a responsibility making sure our children are okay. So
that's their responsibility too.
I know, but that's, machismo. That's how it is. But the good thing about us, we can do a lot of things at the same time. We know how to
multitask.
Multitask. We're really good at multitasking.
Yeah. Machismo.
Does
it still exist?
You know what, it does.
I think it's gotten a little softer now, though, because men are not dumb. Men see us working hard, and they see the struggles and the sacrifices that we make, right? So they step up. I think that they've probably stepped up more.
Yes, it's getting better, but let me just put an example. For example, My daughter has, and I'm just not talking about me personally, but just in general, if one of your kids has a doctor's appointment, who's gonna
The mom.
who's gonna take him to the
mom.
doctor's appointment?
The mom.
If we both work,
The
you
mom,
know,
normally.
it's we always think, oh, it's gonna be the mom,
Right.
or who's gonna take that time off when they're sick? It's gonna be the mom.
So do you think that maybe many times a man's job is more of value than the woman's job? Because if you're going to be the one taking him to the hospital, him or her to the hospital, that means that you get more time off than the husband does.
And it's not really like
Exactly,
that. You know,
exactly.
That's, yeah.
They just take it
and
for
that's
granted.
the hard part because they expect women to be the ones taking that time off when our job is as important as everybody else's.
Right.
Yes.
So how do we?
So that's the hard part.
How do you deal with it?
Well, the good thing I do have I have a support system. I have a supporting husband. I'm sure, like, if I really cannot take time off work, he'll step up. Yeah.
Any regrets? You asked me the same question.
No, I mean, I love what I do. If I didn't like what I do, yes, of course, I would regret it. You know, I'd rather be home with my kids than being here. But I like what I do. I like that I have a good support system here too. You know, my bosses are very, very understandable about our kids because I'm not the only woman here. There's other women. So I love what I do, and that's why I don't have any regrets.
So I can tell Cecy's footsteps coming down the hallway because I know it's her, and she's a very assertive young woman, and I admire that in you. What kind of advice, we're going to take a little break so you can think about it for just a little bit. What kind of advice you would have for other working women? We'll be right back.
Oye, Google, ¿qué tengo planeado para hoy?
Es tiempo para un cambio de aceite en Viva Kia.
Sponsored by Viva Kia.
So Cecy, what kind of advice would you give for to young women, young working mothers who are juggling a career and young children and a husband and the responsibilities that you have? What kind of advice?
Well, one thing, it's never too late to start doing what they want to do. It's never too late. Time is going to pass by anyway. So if they want to start going to school, go to school. Like, those 2 years are going to fly real quick. And do what makes you happy. Okay? Not what makes your husband happy, not what makes your kids happy. If you're a happy mother, your kids are going to be happy. So that's my advice.
That's some easy advice.
Yes.
Hard to achieve, but you know, I mean, we all want to be happy, right? But it's not that easy. You have to determine, right, what brings you happiness.
It's all in the mind.
And you got to make it happen for yourself. Well, thank you for opening up and sharing some of your stories. She asked me some questions.
Yes.
And that I hope I responded to properly. But thank you so much, Cecy, for opening up your heart, because there are a lot of interesting people with interesting stories. Thanks for watching. Until next time.